That was another week. Got that job out my way. Now I can go home and I have this one on my mind. Tomorrow I go to McDonald's.
To start today with a story. Imagine this: a young man full of hope enters a crowded marketplace. He walks confidently, head held high. But as he passes through the crowd, someone shoves him. He stumbles but keeps walking. Another person hurls an insult. He pauses but moves forward. Then someone laughs at him, mocks his stride. At that moment, he stops, turns, and shouts back, his face filled with anger. Now, here's my question: who's really in control of this man's day? Is it him, or is it the crowd? Today, I want to talk about power, not the kind you see in politics or on the world stage, but the quiet, steady power of owning your peace. The kind of power that keeps you grounded, unshaken, no matter who tries to push your buttons. I'm talking about 8 ways to never get angry or bothered by anyone. These aren't just tips, they're tools to protect your energy, preserve your joy, keep your spirit unbreakable. First and foremost, let's talk about perspective. You see, life is about lenses. The way you view the world determines how you respond to it. If someone cuts you off in traffic, you can choose to think, that person is out to get me. Or you can consider, maybe they're rushing to an emergency. When you shift your perspective, you shift your emotions. Understand this: people's actions often have nothing to do with you. They're wrestling with their own storms, their own struggles. Why borrow their chaos? Choose to see the bigger picture. Choose to believe that their negativity is a reflection of them, not you. Now, let me tell you something that'll make you sit up a little straighter. Perspective is like a superpower. Oh yes, it's not just about seeing things differently, it's about owning your reactions, about controlling the narrative in your own mind. Picture this: you're standing in the rain without an umbrella. One person might curse the heavens, soaked and angry. Another might tilt their head back, let the raindrops kiss their face, and think, this feels refreshing. Same rain, different experience. What changed? The lens, my friend. The way you choose to view the situation. And that's the thing: choice. Life doesn't always hand us what we want. In fact, sometimes it dishes out things we wouldn't wish on our worst enemy. But here's the kicker: how you choose to handle it defines you. I'm talking about resilience, grace under fire, and finding that spark of gratitude in the middle of the storm. Gratitude is the antidote to negativity. You can't feel thankful and bitter at the same time. It's like trying to dance to jazz and rock at the same time. It just doesn't work. So when life throws shade your way, put on your gratitude glasses and start looking for the light. But don't just stop at gratitude, take it a step further. Empathy, that's where the magic really happens. Imagine this: the person who cut you off in traffic. Maybe they just got devastating news, or maybe they're rushing to see someone in need. When you put yourself in their shoes, the frustration melts away. Empathy lets you connect, even when others seem unkind. And let's be real, this world could use a lot more connection, a lot more understanding. Empathy doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. Oh no. It means you rise above with strength and compassion. Now let's make this personal. Think about a time when you felt misunderstood or judged. How did it feel? Heavy, right? Like you were carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Now flip that coin and consider this: every person you meet is carrying some kind of burden. Some wear it on their sleeve, others hide it behind a smile. If we all remember that, wouldn't the world be a kinder place? It starts with you, yes, you. Every interaction is a chance to choose kindness over anger, understanding over judgment. I'll leave you with this thought: life is short. Too short to let someone else's bad day ruin yours. Too short to hold grudges or stew in resentment. Every day is a fresh start, a blank canvas waiting for you to paint it. So why not paint it with colors of positivity, with shades of empathy and strokes of gratitude? The masterpiece of your life is created one brush stroke at a time, one choice at a time. And you're the artist. Nobody else holds the brush. So the next time someone cuts you off in traffic, or gives you a snide remark, or acts like their storm is your problem, remember this: you are in control of your lens. Choose the lens of understanding, of resilience, of empathy. Choose to rise above. That's how you turn life's chaos into your personal symphony. Because at the end of the day, perspective is everything, and it's yours to own, to shape, and to wield as the powerful tool it is. The question is, what will you choose to see? Next, let's talk about the art of letting go. You know, life is a bit like the ocean, never changing, relentless, and sometimes wild. Some days it's calm and serene, and you feel like you're gliding effortlessly across the water. Other days, the waves are rough, the skies are dark, and you're struggling just to stay afloat. But here's the truth: no matter how strong a swimmer you are, you can't control the tides. And that's what makes this journey so profound. Learning to let go is not just an art, it's a necessity. Now, let's get something straight. Letting go doesn't mean throwing your hands in the air and giving up. It doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities or pretending your problems don't exist. No, no, no. It's about wisdom, baby. It's about knowing what you can handle and what you can't. It's about stepping back, taking a deep breath, and saying, you know what? I'm not going to let this thing drag me under. Think about it. How often do we carry the weight of things we were never meant to bear? That grudge from years ago, that missed opportunity, that mistake that keeps replaying in your mind like a broken record. We clutch these things so tightly as if holding onto them will somehow fix them. But all it does is weigh us down. It's like trying to climb a mountain while dragging a suitcase full of rocks. The higher you go, the heavier it gets. But here's the kicker: letting go doesn't just free you, it empowers you. It's like decluttering your mental attic, clearing space for better, brighter things. It's the art of saying, this is not serving me anymore, and choosing to release it with grace. And let me tell you, there's a power in that kind of freedom. When you let go of what's holding you back, you're lighter, you're quicker, and you're ready to take on the world with fresh eyes and a full heart. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Letting go takes courage. It takes humility. Sometimes it even takes tears. Because let's face it, we're creatures of habit, and we get attached to our pain. We're afraid that if we let it go, we'll lose a piece of ourselves. But you're not the bad things that have happened to you. You are so much more. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll start living the life you deserve. Imagine standing in a river, holding on to a branch for dear life because you're afraid of the current. The water is pulling at you, and your arms are burning from the strain. But what if you let go? What if you trusted the flow to take you somewhere better? Sure, it's scary. Sure, you might get a little wet. But maybe, just maybe, you'll find yourself in a place more beautiful than you ever imagined. So how do we master the art of letting go? First, you've got to recognize what's holding you back. Take a good, hard look at your life and ask yourself, is this pain, this regret, this fear, is it serving me? Is it helping me grow? If the answer is no, then it's time to release it. Second, replace that weight with something positive. Focus on what you can control. Build on your strengths. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not drag you down. And finally, practice gratitude. Letting go isn't about dwelling on what you've lost, it's about celebrating what you've gained. Every setback, every challenge, every heartbreak has taught you something, hasn't it? So be thankful for those lessons. They've made you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. At the end of the day, letting go is about trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in the fact that life has a way of working itself out. It's about finding peace in the chaos and strength in the surrender. So let it go, my friend. Whatever it is that's been weighing you down, let it go. And watch as the world opens up to you in ways you never thought possible. Third, boundaries. Listen to me now and hear me loudly teach people how to treat you. Yes, you. Every single time you let something slide, a snarky comment, a dismissive attitude, a moment where you're left feeling less than you are, you're handing them a lesson. You're saying this is okay even if it burns you inside. So what do? You draw the line. And if that line gets smudged, you grab the thickest marker you can find and redraw it. Make it bold. Make it bold. Make it unmissable. Make it scream, here lies my worth.
Fuck you doing?
Do not cross. But don't get it twisted. Boundaries aren't about building walls to keep people out. Oh no, it's deeper than that. They're guidelines. They're the lit path showing people where the door is. And that door, it's there for a reason. It's how you decide who walks through, who stays, and who. Well, who gets shown the exit. Because let's be real, not everyone deserves front row seats in your life. Some people, they're better off in the balcony, or maybe even outside the theater altogether. And that's okay. Now, here's the tricky part, closing that door. It's not easy. Maybe it's a friend you've known forever, but every conversation feels like a competition, or a family member who makes you the punchline of their jokes. Or even that coworker who treats your kindness like a weakness. It's hard to shut the door on someone who's been around for so long, but hear me when I say this, you're not doing it to hurt them. You're doing it to help you. Protecting your peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And you're not here to run on fumes for anyone. I need you to say with me now, no is a complete sentence, let that sink in. No explanations, no justifications, no bending over backwards to make it sound sweet. Just know it's strong, it's powerful. It's enough. And let me tell you something about the word no. It's not about being rude, it's about being real. It's about valuing yourself enough to know when to say, this isn't working for me, and to say it unapologetically. Think about it, if your phone's battery's at 2%, you're not handing it to someone else to drain the last bit of juice. No, you're plugging it in to recharge. Your energy works the same way. And the beauty of boundaries is that they're not just for others, they're for you too. You have to respect them first before anyone else will. Don't overcommit. Don't stretch yourself thin, and don't feel guilty for choosing yourself. Now, I'm not saying boundaries are a magic fix. People will test them. Oh, trust me, they will. They'll poke and prod looking for weak spots. Some might even try to guilt trip you into opening that door wider than you're comfortable with. But let me tell you this, stand firm. Because when you uphold your boundaries, you're teaching them that your peace, your time, and your energy are not up for negotiation. And let's talk about the beauty of what happens when you set boundaries. Suddenly, your relationships start to shift. The ones who truly value you, they'll step up. They'll respect the lines you've drawn and appreciate the clarity. And those who don't, well, they'll show themselves out. And that's a gift too. It's like cleaning out your closet, letting go of what no longer serves you to make room for what does. Boundaries are your compass. They guide you to your true north. They remind you of who you are and what you deserve. So the next time someone tries to cross that line, I want you to stand tall. Look them in the eye and say it one more time with me. No is a complete sentence. Say it boldly. Say it with power. Say it like you mean it. Because you, yes, you are worth protecting. The fourth way to stay unbothered is mastering the art of silence. The fourth way to stay unbothered, my friend, is by mastering the art of silence. Yes, silence. That quiet, calm power we all have but rarely use. You see, you don't have to show up to every argument you're invited to. Just because someone's yelling doesn't mean you've got to lose your voice trying to outshout them. Some folks, their words are like fire. They're just waiting for a gust of wind to turn their spark into an inferno. But you've got the extinguisher in your pocket, and it's called silence. Now don't get it twisted. Silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that you don't have to prove your point to everyone who doubts you. It's understanding that your energy is far too precious to be spent on battles that don't add value to your life. Silence is not avoidance, it's strategy. When you choose silence, you're not just walking away, you're walking towards something greater. Peace. Let me tell you, silence is a superpower. When you're silent, you're in control. You're not reacting, you're responding. And there is a big difference between the two. A reaction that's instant, impulsive, fueled by emotions. But a response that's deliberate, measured, and thought out. Silence gives you the time and space to decide how you want to move, how you want to carry yourself, and what kind of energy you're bringing into the world. No, silence speaks louder than words. Yes, it does. It's a statement, clear as day. When you choose not to engage in someone's chaos, you're saying, I value my peace too much to let you disturb it. That's power. That's confidence. That's saying, I know who I am, and I don't need your validation, your approval, or your opinion to define me. Let me give you a picture. Imagine someone throws a punch, not physically, but with their words. They're coming at you with everything they've got. Insults, accusations, maybe even some lies sprinkled on top. Now, the old you, oh, you might have swung back, matched fire with fire. But the unbothered you, the you that's learned the art of silence, You just stand there, calm as ever. And that silence, it hits harder than any comeback ever could. But silence isn't just for the haters and the naysayers. Sometimes it's for you. Sometimes you need to sit with your own thoughts, your own dreams, your own struggles in the quiet. Because it's in the silence that you find clarity. It's in the stillness that you find strength. It's when the world is quiet that you can hear the voice inside of you saying, keep going. You've got this. Don't let anyone fool you. Silence isn't always easy. It takes practice. It takes patience. It takes knowing when to hold your tongue even when you've got the perfect clap back ready. But trust me, it's worth it. Because when you master the art of silence, you're not just staying unbothered. You're staying powerful. You're staying focused. You're staying you. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, remember this: you don't have to go. Stay grounded, stay calm, stay silent. Because your peace, it's priceless. And no argument, no drama, no chaos is worth giving it up for. Silence isn't just golden. It's unshakable. It's unbothered. And most importantly, it's yours. Fifth, know this: not everything requires your attention. Some things are just noise. A rude comment, noise. A judgmental glance, noise. Not every situation deserves your energy. Learn to filter out the static. Ask yourself, does this matter in the grand scheme of my life? If the answer is no, let it go. As they say, if it won't matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes upset about it. Number 6, let's talk about gratitude, people. Gratitude changes the game. It's like flipping the script in a movie. 1 minute, you're stuck in frustration, and the next, you're walking in the light of appreciation. You see, when you zero in on what you're thankful for, it's like turning on a spotlight in the dark room. Anger, frustration, they don't stand a chance when gratitude takes the stage. Let me break it down for you. Imagine this. You're in a situation that's getting under your skin. Maybe it's someone cutting you off in traffic, or a coworker who knows just the right button to press. You feel that heat rising. You're ready to react, but hold up. Don't go there. Pause. Take a deep breath. Just one. And in that moment, I want you to shift your focus. Think of one thing. Just one that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be big. It could be as simple as, I woke up today. Or, I've got clean water to drink. What happens next is powerful. That gratitude, it's not just a thought. It's a perspective shift. It's like putting on glasses and suddenly seeing the world clearly. It pulls your attention away from what's wrong and shines a light on what's right. And let me tell you something. There's always something right. Even in the storm, the sun is shining somewhere. You've just got to look for it. Here's the truth. Negativity is contagious. It spreads fast, and it can take over if you let it. But gratitude, Gratitude is the antidote. It's the reset button for your soul. When you practice it, when you make it a habit, you're building a fortress of positivity around your heart and mind. You're saying to the world, I choose to focus on the good. I choose peace. Now, let's get real for a second. Life is short. I know we've all heard that, but think about it. You've got one shot at this thing called life. Are you really going to spend it holding on to grudges? Carrying the weight of anger and resentment? No. That's not how you win the game. Winners, real winners, they spend their time cherishing the blessings. They don't waste energy on bitterness because they know every second, every breath is a gift. You see, grudges, they're like chains holding you down. They don't hurt the other person, they hurt you. But gratitude is freedom. It's wings. It lifts you up and lets you soar above the pettiness and the pain. It lets you focus on what truly matters. The love in your life, the beauty around you, the opportunities waiting for you. So the next time you're faced with a challenge or someone tests your patience, remember this. You've got the power to choose how you respond. Choose gratitude. Choose to see the blessings, even if they're small. When you do, you're not just changing the moment, you're changing you. You're becoming someone who lives with joy, someone who inspires others to do the same. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. And gratitude, that's the secret weapon. That's how you take control of your story. So go ahead and write a story worth living. Fill it with thankfulness, with joy, and with love. That's how you leave a legacy. That's how you change the game. Number 7, forgiveness is freedom. Let me tell you something, this isn't a walk in the park. Forgiveness isn't about saying it's all good when someone has wronged you. No, it's not about sweeping things under the rug. Forgiveness is about your power. It's about saying, I refuse to let this hold me hostage anymore. It's about breaking the chains of resentment that are dragging you down and keeping you locked in a prison of anger and bitterness. See, resentment is like carrying a bag of bricks everywhere you go. It's heavy, it slows you down, and worst of all, it's unnecessary. You don't need those bricks. You're too strong, too wise, and too focused to be weighed down by something that doesn't serve you. Forgiveness is how you set that bag down and finally move freely again. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but D, they don't deserve my forgiveness, and maybe you're right. Maybe they don't. But let me tell you something crucial. Your forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It doesn't mean you're inviting them back into your life or pretending like nothing happened. Forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook, it's about letting yourself off the hook. Think of it this way: when you refuse to forgive, you're giving them power. They might have hurt you once, but by holding on to that grudge, you're letting them hurt you again and again. Every time their name pops into your head, every time you replay what they did, they're living rent-free in your mind. And let me ask you this, do you really want to give that much space to someone who's already taken more than they deserved? I didn't think so. Forgiveness is freedom, my friend. It's reclaiming your peace. It's taking back your joy. It's about stepping into the light and leaving the shadows behind. You can't soar like an eagle if you're dragging around the weight of yesterday's pain. But let's be real, it's not easy. It takes courage to forgive. It takes strength to look at the person or situation that hurt you and say, you no longer control me. It takes wisdom to understand that forgiveness is for your soul, not their validation. And it takes love for yourself, love for the life you're building, and love for the peace you deserve. Let's make this personal for a moment. Picture the thing or the person that's been holding you back. Maybe it's a betrayal. Maybe it's an argument you can't forget. Maybe it's even something you've done to yourself. Whatever it is, picture it. Now imagine yourself holding that resentment like a heavy rock in your hand. Feel the weight of it. Feel how it's dragging you down. And now, let it go. Just drop it. Watch it fall away. That's what forgiveness feels like, freedom. And don't get it twisted. Forgiveness doesn't mean you'll forget. It doesn't mean there won't be lessons learned or boundaries set. But what it does mean is that you're choosing peace over pain. You're choosing to move forward instead of standing still. You're choosing you. So my friends, take a deep breath and ask yourself this: what's weighing you down today? What pain are you ready to release? Because forgiveness is waiting for you. Freedom is waiting for you. And the best part, you don't have to wait for anyone else to make it happen. The key to those chains is in your hands. Choose freedom. Choose forgiveness. Choose the life you deserve. And finally, let me tell you something that's worth more than gold, rubies, or diamonds. Invest in your inner peace. That's right, your peace. It's your sanctuary, your fortress, your secret weapon in a chaotic world. Now, what does that look like? It might be sitting still in the morning light, eyes closed, breathing deep and connecting to something greater than yourself. Meditation, prayer, journaling, whatever speaks to your soul, that's where you start. Or maybe it's something simpler. Maybe it's walking through the trees, the breeze brushing your face, the earth steady beneath your feet. It's not about what you do, it's about how it makes you feel. Inner peace is more than a fleeting moment of calm. It's a way of life, a habit, a practice. It's like a well you draw from when the world gets loud and heavy. Imagine this: when chaos knocks on your door, and trust me, it will knock, you don't have to answer. Why? Because your peace is stronger than the noise outside. Think of it like a shield. The stronger your shield, the less those arrows of negativity can pierce you. But you've got to build that shield. It doesn't just appear. You've got to nurture your spirit, feed your mind with the good stuff, positivity, wisdom, truth. You've got to guard your heart. Now let me pause right there. Guarding your heart doesn't mean closing it off or building walls. No, it means being discerning. It means knowing what to let in and what to keep out. Not every voice deserves your attention, and not every vibe is worth your energy. And let's not forget the power of gratitude. You see, when you focus on what's good in your life, no matter how small, you create space for more of it. Gratitude flips the script. It says, yeah, life's got its battles, but I'm still here. I'm still standing. And I'm thankful for that. When you're at peace within, the world can't easily shake you. And that's power, my friend. That's strength. It's not about being untouchable. It's about being unshakable. Storms may come, winds may howl, but you've got roots. Deep roots You don't just survive the storm, you thrive through it. So nurture your inner world like it's your most precious garden. Pull out the weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity. Plant seeds of love, hope, and joy. Water them daily with affirmations, acts of kindness, and moments of stillness. And watch what happens. Watch how life changes when you show up with peace in your heart and a smile on your face. Remember this, your peace isn't just for you. It's for the people around you too. When you carry peace, it spills over. It touches others, it inspires them. It's a ripple effect spreading calm in a world that desperately needs it. So do the work. Invest in your peace. Not tomorrow, not next week.
Black men, boys and girls, and now adult men and women in the situation that they're in.
What situation that they're in?
Weak and angry and insecure. And
No, that's no. There's a
have you
lot of
noticed
amazing
that?
black people
No.
that have had strong black mothers, and the reason why
no
they
such thing.
yeah, okay, amazing.
Amazing. You believe that black women are strong?
Hell yeah.
You know, did you know there's no
not
such
enough
thing?
black women superheroes.
So what you've just admitted that you are weak then,
How would I be weak?
because there's no such thing as a strong woman, just weak men.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
How?
How is it that black women are so strong?
So was your mother a strong woman?
No.
She was what?
There's no such thing. She was black. There's no such thing as a strong woman. How is it that?
Now, I'm not talking about being kind or respectful, because you should always be those things. What I'm talking about is being overly nice. Being the guy who's so caught up in trying to please that you forget to stand your ground. You think being nice is going to win her over, right? You think if you just play it safe, put her needs first, and say everything she wants to hear, she'll be impressed. But guess what? That's not how it works. Women are strong, independent, and they see through that. They want a man who knows who he is. A man who doesn't compromise his values just to get approval. A man who isn't afraid to challenge, to push boundaries, to set expectations. Let me tell you this, you're not going to earn respect by bending over backward. You're not going to gain admiration by letting your own identity disappear in the process. You're not going to get anywhere by being a yes man. That's not strength. That's insecurity. You have to own your space. Be bold. Be assertive. You show who you are. And if she doesn't appreciate that, it's her loss. But here's the real truth. If you want respect, if you want admiration, if you want her to actually see you, you've got to stop being nice and start being real. Be authentic. Be unapologetically you. Because when you do that, you stop chasing validation and start attracting the right kind of person into your life. So stop trying to please. Stop pretending to be someone you're not. Stop compromising your own worth. Stand tall. Be bold. Be the man you're meant to be, and everything else will fall into place. That's how you deliver a powerful message with conviction, no fluff, just straight talk. You know, there's a crucial point I want you to understand, and it's at the heart of everything that truly matters in life. Stop overcompensating. I'm talking about the way so many of us go through life, trying to please others, trying to fit into someone else's expectations. We believe that if we just do enough, say the right things, and constantly put others before ourselves, that's how we'll earn their respect, their admiration, their love. But let me tell you right now, this mentality is flawed, and it's time you let go of it. The truth is, overcompensating only leaves you exhausted, resentful, and with a sense of self-worth that's tied to external validation instead of internal strength. You see, when you spend your time trying to please others, when you twist yourself into a shape that doesn't fit, you lose yourself in the process. You're living for someone else, following a script that's not yours, just to get a smile, a compliment, or a pat on the back. But ask yourself, is that really worth it? Is the effort worth sacrificing your own identity? When you're constantly overcompensating for someone else's approval, you're not allowing yourself to grow. You're not allowing yourself to evolve into the person you were meant to be. And the worst part is you never truly feel fulfilled, because deep down you know that the version of you that's being accepted isn't even the real you. It's a version that was tailored to fit someone else's idea of what you should be. But here's the deal, people, especially women, don't need you to change who you are to gain their respect or affection. They don't need you to be a doormat, bending over backward, sacrificing your happiness for theirs. That's not attractive. That's not powerful. What's powerful is someone who knows their worth, someone who isn't afraid to stand firm in their convictions, someone who says, this is who I am, and if you don't respect that, then it's your loss, not mine. That's strength. That's a person who understands that their own well-being is just as important as anyone else's. That's the kind of person who earns true respect, not by trying to please everyone around them, but by being unapologetically themselves. Think about it. When you stop overcompensating, you give yourself the space to breathe, to grow, and to attract people who genuinely see and appreciate you for who you are. You don't have to try so hard to be someone you're not just to gain approval. Instead, you attract those who are aligned with your values, your energy, and your vision for the future. You start surrounding yourself with people who elevate you, challenge you, and support you for the right reasons, not because you're jumping through hoops to gain their favor. And let me tell you something else, overcompensating doesn't just affect your relationships with others. It affects your relationship with yourself. Every time you go out of your way to make someone else happy at the expense of your own needs, you're telling yourself that you're not enough as you are. You're telling yourself that your voice, your desires, your feelings don't matter as much as someone else's. And that's a dangerous message to send to yourself. Because if you don't believe in your own worth, if you don't value your own needs, then how can you expect anyone else to? Now, I'm not saying you should stop being considerate, stop being kind, or stop being a good person. But there's a difference between being kind and overcompensating. Being considerate means you care for others without sacrificing your own well-being. It means finding a balance between giving and receiving, but overcompensating is one-sided. It's about giving all of yourself without expecting anything in return, until eventually there's nothing left of you. That's not sustainable. And that's not how you build real, meaningful connections with people. When you stop overcompensating, you take back control of your life. You get to decide what's important to you. You get to decide what's worth your time and energy. And you get to protect your own peace. This is about reclaiming your personal power. It's about learning to say no when you need to, even if that means disappointing someone. It's about standing up for your values and not compromising them just to keep someone else happy. And let me tell you something, when you start doing that, people will start respecting you more. Not because you've done everything for them, but because you've shown them that you value yourself enough to stand firm in your boundaries. It's not easy to stop overcompensating. It's not easy to stop trying to please others, especially when it's been ingrained in us for so long. We've been conditioned to think that we have to bend ourselves into shapes that don't fit in order to be accepted. But that's a lie. The truth is, you don't have to lose yourself to gain someone else's approval. The right people will come into your life when you stop pretending to be something you're not. They'll see the real you, and they'll respect you for it. And when you start respecting yourself enough to stop overcompensating, you'll find that the world opens up to you in ways you never imagined. So let me leave you with this: stop overcompensating. Stop trying to be someone you're not just to please others. Stop sacrificing your own happiness and peace for someone else's approval. Be real. Be authentic. Be unapologetically you. And when you do that, you'll find that the right people, the ones who truly see you for who you are, will start showing up in your life. You'll start living a life that's aligned with your true self, and everything else will fall into place. Respect yourself first. You hear that, but do you truly understand it? It's easy to say, but when you really look at your actions, how often do you actually put your own needs, desires, and boundaries above the expectations of others? It's so common to think that respect must come from external sources, that we need to earn it from others in order to feel validated. But here's the truth: respect begins with you. If you don't respect yourself, if you don't value your own time, your own boundaries, your own sense of self-worth, then no one else will either. And that's not a message that should be taken lightly, because how you view yourself is the foundation for everything in your life. If you don't set the standard for how you expect to be treated, you're leaving that responsibility in the hands of others. And when that happens, it's too easy to fall into the trap of letting other people dictate your value. Respect isn't about demanding things from people or forcing them to see your worth. It's about having a deep understanding of your own value, knowing what you bring to the table, and standing by that with confidence. It's about not allowing others to walk all over you or make you feel insignificant. It's about setting boundaries and being firm about them, even if it means disappointing someone in the process. When you respect yourself, you understand that your time, your energy, and your presence are precious. You stop giving them away to people who don't value them, and you stop allowing others to take from you without giving anything in return. It's about knowing when to say no and recognizing that doing so doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who knows their worth. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you said yes when you really wanted to say no? How many times have you compromised your own happiness just to keep the peace or avoid conflict? How often do you bend your principles to fit in with someone else's idea of what's acceptable? These are signs that you haven't truly embraced self-respect. You've let external pressures dictate your actions, and as a result, you've diminished your own sense of self-worth. It's not enough to simply acknowledge your worth. It's about taking action, living with conviction, and upholding that respect every single day. Self-respect is about refusing to accept less than you deserve. Not because you're entitled, but because you understand that you have value and you're not going to settle for anything less than what reflects that value. When you respect yourself, you stop chasing after approval. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission to be great. You don't need validation from the outside world because your confidence comes from within. And let me tell you something that's a game changer, because when you stop relying on others to affirm your worth, that's when you start attracting the right people into your life. People who see you for who you truly are. People who respect you because you respect yourself first. That's the kind of energy you want to put out into the world, because it's the kind of energy that draws respect back to you. You stop playing the game of trying to please others and start playing the game of standing in your own power. Self-respect isn't just about avoiding mistreatment, though. It's about setting the bar high for your own life. It's about expecting the best from yourself. It's about refusing to settle for mediocrity. If you respect yourself, you won't allow yourself to waste time on people or situations that don't align with your goals or values. You'll know when to walk away, when to cut ties, and when to move forward. You'll know that your time is too valuable to spend it on anything less than what you deserve. When you respect yourself, you demand that your time, energy, and resources. You don't need validation from the outside to know that you are worthy. Now let's talk about the second key idea. Strength comes from authenticity. This is where the rubber meets the road. People are drawn to authenticity. They are attracted to individuals who are unapologetically themselves, people who are comfortable in their own skin. Why? Because authenticity radiates confidence. It says, I know who I am, I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to pursue it. This is the kind of energy that draws respect. But the truth is, it's hard to be authentic in a world that constantly pushes you to be something you're not. Everywhere you look, there's pressure to fit into certain molds, to live up to unrealistic standards, to become someone else's version of success. And that pressure can feel suffocating. It can make you question who you really are and what you really want. But here's the reality: when you try to be someone else, you lose the very thing that makes you unique. You lose the power that comes from being authentically yourself. Being authentic isn't always easy. It requires vulnerability. It means letting go of the need for approval and stepping into your truth, even if it means standing alone. It's about saying, this is me, take it or leave it. And the strength that comes from this, it's unshakable. Because when you know who you are, when you stand firm in your identity, no one can shake you. It doesn't matter what other people think, because you've already accepted yourself fully. That's the kind of confidence that comes from authenticity. It's the kind of strength that isn't dependent on external validation. When you're authentic, you're not putting on a show. You're not pretending to be something you're not. You're not hiding behind masks or trying to live up to someone else's expectations. You're simply showing up as yourself, and that's powerful. Because the world doesn't need more copies. It needs more originals. And the more you embrace who you truly are, the more you'll begin to attract people who respect that authenticity, who appreciate you for the real you, not for the person you're pretending to be. It's the foundation of all meaningful connections, whether in business, relationships, or friendships. People are drawn to authenticity because it's rare, it's refreshing, and it's real. When you bring your true self to the table, it's impossible to be anything less than magnetic. So stop pretending to be someone else, stop conforming to the expectations of others, and start owning who you are. Because when you do, you'll find a strength in your authenticity that no one can take away from you. Strength comes from authenticity. There is a deep power in being unapologetically yourself, and yet so many people are afraid of that. They're afraid of showing the world who they really are because it feels too risky, too vulnerable, too exposed. But let me tell you something, strength doesn't come from hiding who you are. It doesn't come from pretending to be something you're not in order to fit in or please others. True strength is rooted in authenticity. When you can walk into any room, face any challenge, and be fully unapologetically yourself. That's when you unlock your real power. It doesn't matter if people like it or not, because you're not here to please anyone else. You're here to be who you were always meant to be. And there's a power that comes with that. An unshakable confidence that no one can take from you. You see, the world is full of people who are pretending. They're wearing masks, following trends, trying to be what society tells them they should be. They're chasing someone else's version of success, someone else's idea of happiness, and they wonder why they feel empty, why they feel disconnected. It's because they're living a life that isn't their own. They're not being true to who they are. But when you stop pretending, when you stop trying to live up to someone else's expectations, that's when you start to feel truly alive. That's when you start to feel like you're walking your own path, not someone else's. It's a feeling that comes from deep within, and it's impossible to fake. It's the confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are, exactly what you stand for, and exactly what you're capable of. And when you carry that confidence with you, people notice. It's magnetic. It draws respect. Because here's the thing, people don't respect the person who is always trying to be someone else. They respect the person who stands firm in their own skin, the person who isn't afraid to speak their truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. The irony is that the more authentic you are, the more you attract people who are aligned with your energy, with your truth. You stop wasting time with people who don't appreciate you for who you truly are, and instead you start surrounding yourself with individuals who see your value, who respect you for your unique qualities. The key is not to seek validation from others, but to give yourself that validation first. When you stop seeking approval from the outside world and start relying on your own inner confidence, you'll be surprised at how many doors open up for you. The universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, can only deliver what you're willing to accept. And if you accept yourself fully, if you know your worth and stand in it without apology, you'll find that the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances will start to show up in your life. You'll stop chasing after things that aren't aligned with who you truly are. And you'll start attracting everything that is. The truth is, strength doesn't come from being tough all the time. It doesn't come from pretending to have it all together. Strength comes from vulnerability, from being willing to show the world your true self, flaws and all. That's where the real power lies. It's not about being perfect. It's not about putting on a facade and pretending to be invincible. Real strength is about accepting yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your flaws, and your beauty without apology. It's about saying, This is me, take it or leave it, and knowing that you are enough, just as you are. When you embrace that authenticity, when you let go of the need to prove yourself to anyone, that's when you stop caring about what people think of you. You stop letting their judgments define your worth. You stop letting their opinions dictate your actions. And that's when you truly step into your power. Because when you're being authentic, you're no longer living for anyone else. You're living for yourself. You're not here to meet someone else's standards. You're here to meet your own. Now, let's talk about the importance of attracting the right people into your life. If you want respect, you have to first be able to give it to yourself, but it doesn't stop there. You also need to surround yourself with the right people. The people who lift you up, who challenge you, who support you, and who understand your worth. But here's the thing, if you're not respecting yourself, if you're not standing firm in your own boundaries, if you're constantly compromising your values just to fit in, then you're going to attract people who don't respect you either. You'll attract people who take advantage of you, who treat you like you're expendable, or who don't appreciate the real you. But when you start respecting yourself, when you know your worth, when you're clear on your values and what you stand for, that's when you start attracting people who align with your energy. You stop attracting people who drain you. And you start attracting people who inspire you, who elevate you, and who push you to be your best self. This isn't just about relationships, this applies to every area of your life. Whether it's friendships, business partnerships, or romantic relationships, the principle's the same. You can't attract the right people until you start respecting yourself. And when you do, you'll find that the people you attract are the ones who see you for who you really are, not for some version of you that you're pretending to be. You'll surround yourself with people who value you, who encourage you to grow, and who support you in all your endeavors. They won't try to change you. They won't try to make you fit into a mold that doesn't suit you. They'll accept you for who you are, flaws and all, and they'll push you to become the best version of yourself. Not by changing who you are, but by helping you grow into the person you're meant to be. It all starts with self-respect. It all starts with you. Because if you don't respect yourself, you're never going to attract the people who will respect you. You have to set the standard and you have to live by it. When you do that, everything else will follow. You'll stop wasting time on people who don't deserve you. And you'll start building meaningful, fulfilling relationships that are built on mutual respect, admiration, and authenticity. And the beauty of it is that the more you respect yourself, the more you will naturally attract the right people into your life. And that's how you build a life that's truly worth living, a life that's aligned with who you are, a life that reflects your highest potential. Because when you respect yourself and when you live authentically, you'll find that everything else falls into place. Challenge the status quo. This idea is simple in concept, but often daunting in practice. It's not easy to stand against the tide, especially when the world is pushing you to conform, to follow the rules, to stick with the crowd. But real growth, real change, and real success come from the courage to challenge what's expected of you. The truth is, the majority of people are content with staying in their comfort zones, with doing what they've always done, because it's familiar, because it's safe. But safe doesn't change the world. Safe doesn't lead to innovation, to progress, or to fulfillment. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, if you want to make a real impact, then you have to get comfortable with challenging the status quo. You have to be willing to do things differently, to break the mold, and to defy expectations. It's not about rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's about understanding that the path everyone else is on might not be the right path for you. It's about seeing the bigger picture and realizing that following in everyone else's footsteps won't lead you to the life you want. The world will always have rules, norms, and traditions, but those things aren't carved in stone. They're made by people, and people have the power to change them. But in order to change them, you first have to be willing to stand apart from the crowd. You have to be okay with being misunderstood, with not always being accepted. with challenging people's ideas of who you should be and what you should do. When you begin to challenge the status quo, you may face criticism, resistance, and even failure. But that's the price of progress. If you don't face challenges, you're not pushing yourself enough. If you're not facing resistance, you're not aiming high enough. Growth requires discomfort, and discomfort requires you to step away from the status quo and forge your own path. Challenging the status quo isn't just about making a bold move once in a while. It's about adopting a mindset that questions everything. It's about refusing to accept things just because they've always been done that way. It's about challenging your own assumptions and looking for new ways to improve, to innovate, to do things better. It's about constantly asking, is there a better way? If you want to live a life of purpose, if you want to create something meaningful, you can't just do what everyone else for extraordinary results. Ordinary actions get ordinary results. Extraordinary actions lead to extraordinary outcomes. And those actions are often about doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Thinking outside the box and embracing the unknown.
This has been fun, guys. This is about regaining your power, recovering yourself, finding oneself without the benefit of bending over and turning yourself into a pretzel to please others. So thank you for riding with me this morning. We found money, took money home, and now we're going inside. Enjoy the rest of my Sunday, and I suggest you all do the same thing. Stay blessed, stay wholesome, eat well, and we'll see you again. It's your boy Doug, 60 Gang. Happy New Year, and I'm out.